Understanding the dynamics of gang culture in Los Angeles, LA, and Oakland requires a nuanced examination of historical, social, and geographical factors. Both cities have unique gang landscapes shaped by distinct histories and influences. While LA is often associated with the notorious Crips and Bloods gangs, Oakland's gang scene has evolved differently, with no dominant presence of these specific groups. Los Angeles has long been considered a hotbed for gang activity, and the Crips and Bloods are two of the most infamous gangs associated with the city. The origins of these gangs can be traced back to the 1960s and 1970s, a period marked by social upheaval and economic challenges in predominantly African American neighborhoods. The Crips were founded in South Los Angeles in 1969, while the Bloods emerged as a rival gang in the early 1970s. Over the years, their influence spread, and their distinct identities became synonymous with LA gang culture. The rivalry between the Crips and Bloods has led to decades of violence and territorial disputes. The gang culture in LA is characterized by a complex network of alliances, rivalries, and intricate codes of conduct. The proliferation of gang-related activities in LA has been fueled by factors such as tensions, systemic inequality, and the availability of a come-up. In contrast, Oakland has a different gang landscape, with no prominent presence of Crips or Bloods. The city's gang history is shaped by its own unique circumstances, including a diverse population and a distinct socio-economic context. While Oakland has faced challenges related to gang violence, the absence of Crips and Bloods has contributed to a different gang dynamic. It is mostly blocks, cliques, macking, and making money. The culture is not even comparable to the culture in Los Angeles. They even have a different style of dressing and swagger. Additionally, Oakland's gang scene has been shaped by historical events such as the crack cocaine epidemic of the 1980s. The influx of drugs into the city contributed to the rise of local gangs involved in drug distribution and turf wars. While these gangs may not have the same level of national notoriety as the Crips and Bloods, they have played a significant role in Oakland's gang history. It's essential to recognize that Oakland's gang dynamics are fluid and have evolved over time. Popular crimes there are bipping, robberies, and drug dealing. Oakland, like many urban areas, has faced challenges related to crime and violence. While it is important to acknowledge these issues, it is equally crucial to recognize the diverse and vibrant aspects of the city. Oakland has a rich cultural tapestry, known for its history of activism, art, and community resilience. Violence in Oakland has often been concentrated in specific neighborhoods, and efforts to address these challenges have been ongoing. Community organizations, local authorities, and residents have collaborated to implement programs aimed at reducing crime and improving public safety. Despite the city's struggles, there are numerous positive stories of individuals working to uplift their communities. Oakland is also renowned for its cultural contributions, with a thriving arts scene and a strong sense of community pride. Residents and organizations continue to invest in initiatives that foster unity, economic development, and educational opportunities. It is crucial to approach discussions about Oakland with a balanced perspective, acknowledging both the difficulties faced and the ongoing efforts to build a safer and more prosperous city for all its residents. On the other hand, LA gang culture in Los Angeles, specifically represented by the infamous Crips and Bloods, is a multifaceted and enduring aspect of the city's history. Stemming from socio-economic disparities, racial tensions, and a tumultuous urban development history, gangs have not only influenced the social fabric but also shaped the political and economic landscape of the city. Los Angeles has gained global recognition as the epicenter of gang activity due to the widespread presence and impact of its gangs, particularly the Crips and Bloods. These groups emerged in the late 1960s and early 1970s as a response to the social isolation, economic marginalization, and racial discrimination faced by African American communities in South Los Angeles. Initially, the Crips, founded by Raymond Washington and Stanley Williams, aimed to protect their neighborhoods from rival gangs and provide a sense of belonging and empowerment to their members. The Bloods, a rival gang, formed shortly after in opposition to the dominance of the Crips, sparking decades of violence and territorial disputes between the two. One of the defining characteristics of gang culture in Los Angeles is its territorial nature. Gangs often lay claim to specific neighborhoods, establishing control through violence, intimidation, and engaging in illicit activities such as drug trafficking and extortion. These territories, marked by graffiti, colors, and symbols, serve as both a source of pride and a battleground for conflicts with rival gangs. The competition for control over profitable drug markets and other illegal enterprises perpetuates a cycle of violence and revenge. The proliferation of gang culture in Los Angeles can be attributed to a combination of factors, including social disorganization, inadequate law enforcement, and systemic racism. Years of neglect in inner-city neighborhoods, coupled with discriminatory housing policies and unequal access to education and employment opportunities, have contributed to the growth and influence of gangs. In summary, the analysis of gang culture in Los Angeles, LA, and Oakland reveals a multifaceted combination of socioeconomic, historical, and geographical elements that distinctly influence the dynamics of gang life in each city. Despite similarities such as the presence of street gangs, drug trafficking, and violence, a closer examination uncovers significant differences that highlight the unique characteristics of gang culture in each area. One of the main gangs in Oakland is the Case Gang, based in Oakland, has garnered significant attention for its violent actions. Here are some important details about this gang, origins, and infamy. The Case Boys gang emerged as a faction of the Nutcase Gang, which operated in Oakland in the early 2000s. The Nutcases became notorious for a 10-week crime spree in late 2002 and early 2003, resulting in 5 fatalities and numerous injuries. Recent arrests and charges. In 2013, purported members and affiliates of the Case Boys gang were apprehended and charged with various offenses, including conspiracy to commit murder. The charges encompassed conspiracy to commit robbery, assault on a law enforcement officer, assault with a firearm, shooting at occupied residences, fraud, pimping, and pandering. Certain suspects faced additional allegations linked to their gang ties, potentially leading to extended prison terms upon conviction. Specific incidents. The Case Boys gang was implicated in schemes to assassinate rival gang members, particularly those associated with the Money Team gang. Notable incidents involved planned homicides and unsuccessful attempts to eliminate rival gang affiliates. The gang was also connected to robberies and other criminal undertakings. Law enforcement initiatives. The crackdown on the Case Boys gang was part of Operation Ceasefire, a comprehensive strategy initiated by the Oakland Police Department to combat violence. This program involves cooperation among law enforcement officials, probation and parole officers, community members, and crime victims to persuade gang members to halt their violent behaviors. The most popular gang in Los Angeles is the Rollin 60s Crips. The Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips is a street gang based in Los Angeles, California. It was originally formed in 1976 from the West Side Crips and has since spread to other cities in the United States. With an estimated membership of around 1,600 people, it is one of the largest gangs in the Los Angeles area. Here are some key points about the Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips. Origins. The gang emerged from the West Side Crips and has a long history in Los Angeles. Activities. Members are involved in various criminal activities, including racketeering, murder, drug trafficking, arms trafficking, auto theft, armed robbery, burglary, extortion, and fraud. 1. Symbols. They identify themselves by wearing the Seattle Mariners or Chicago White Sox logos and mark their territories with graffiti. Notable incidents. In 1984, 2 Rollin 60s members were arrested for the murders of 4 members of professional football player Kermit Alexander's family. Tragically, they had targeted the wrong address and killed the wrong family. In 1988, a Rollin 60s member was responsible for the death of Karen Tashima, an innocent victim caught in the crossfire between 2 gang members. A notable member. The late Nipsey Hussle, a musician, businessman, and community activist, was associated with the Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips.